What's up, everyone? Hope you're having a good weekend. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page, and after this song I'll get started. And you might have saw my topic, internet beef. Seems like so many people have internet beef these days, with the advent of the internet. So we're going to kind of break that down a little bit. And I think it should be helpful to everybody here, hopefully. Alright, so we'll give some time for some people to come in here. And I'll probably share it maybe with some other groups too afterwards. Let's see. I have options where I can put this directly into the fan page. With the fan page, I can share it to all different types of groups. But if I put it in the private group, it doesn't allow me to share it anywhere. So that's why I like to come here first. So let's allow some people to come in here and let's talk about internet beef in a couple of minutes. I think you're going to find it interesting. I've got some interesting stories to share with you of situations that I know have arisen, and I've watched them arise with different cleaners. And I saw the consequences of it. And I think it would be helpful to everybody in here as I go to share this. It'll help you when you deal with other people, So that's basically where I'm going with it. Alright, I'm getting a good group and number of people in here. This song's just about over here. Still waiting for an information card from you, Mike. I don't know what that means right there, Gary. But after this, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get started here in about 30 seconds. By the way, can you hear this clearly? Can you hear the music in the background? What can you hear and what can you not hear? Any observations? I'd appreciate it before I get started. Just go in there and type in there, hey, the sound is good, music is good, whatever, something like that. I'd appreciate it. And then we're going to break this internet beef down. That's what we're going to do. We're going to break it down a bit. No music? Can't hear the music? Andy, can you hear me okay? I've got my mic set up right here. Can you hear me? Okay. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead. I went ahead and killed the music. I appreciate it, Andy. Thank you. Thanks for that feedback. Alright. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about internet beef. Like I said earlier, with the advent of the internet, there's a ton of internet beef that goes on. It just seems like there's a lot of keyboard warriors and people just can't get along. And I'm going to break it down and explain to you why I feel like that is. Okay? And what you can do about it, maybe to prevent it or how to deal with it. Alright, first thing I'd like to talk about is an experience that I ran into a couple years back. We ended up getting on our business carpet cleaning page, my carpet cleaning and restoration company, I got a review. And I could tell that it was a fake review, but what was I supposed to do? I couldn't, break it down much. Let's see. I couldn't really break it down because I can't see exactly who sent it. I could tell it was a fake name. The reason I could tell that was I had the receptionist go look it up. We went through our House Call Pro and we couldn't find it, and obviously they weren't a customer. Okay, so what do you do? Well, there's a couple things you can do, all right? Number one is now you can report it. Google and other review sites have gotten their act together, and they're realizing that people are leaving fake reviews. And I'm gonna go into that and let you know what Google can do later for you and some of the ramifications that could be involved if you ever get into an internet beef and you try to handle it in the wrong way. Because I'm going to break down for every action there is a reaction. All right, so now back to that experience. So anyway, I got this review, and it said that I was a terrible boss, and I ran a terrible business, and my employees were bad, and our work was bad, and all that kind of stuff. Now, let's face it, I'm not just patting myself on the back. I earned it over the 30-some years of better business. We have more 5-star reviews than anybody probably in the whole state of Virginia. Okay? At least in our 7-city district. We're around 500 Google. I don't know what we have for Yelp and all that kind of stuff, So all those things right there made me realize this was a fake review. So I went ahead and I reported it to Google. All right? Now, this was kind of early on before Google was getting smart. All right? So I reported it, and maybe a couple, 2 or 3 months later, it disappeared. So apparently Google went ahead and addressed it. They started getting wise. to these things that are going on because they realize through the internet people could be leaving bad reviews. And then go on the back end and look at it. Now, here's the ironic part. Okay, this was very ironic. About 6 months ago, I get a positive review saying, hey, Rob, hire some of the best people. He's a great person. And he does fantastic work. And he was the best boss I ever worked for. I'm going like, wow, now that's odd, right? So I get a private message from this guy. And I like this guy, but he had some problems. He was dealing with some family problems. He ended up maybe dealing with some type of, let's just say, extracurricular activity problems. I don't want to go into it because that's his personal life. And he apparently got it straight. But I don't put up with that nonsense. So I went ahead and let him go. Because my customers and my business and my livelihood has to come first if they can't get their act together. And so anyway, he sends me this message, this email, and I'm sorry, it was a private message on Facebook. He said, Rob, I'm the one that left you that bad review. I feel really bad for it, and you're one of the best people I've ever worked for. Yes, you worked me hard, but you were honest, you were fair, and you made me get back on the right path. So you notice how that turned around. I ended up losing that bad review. Google took it down, and I ended up getting a good review from this guy. Now, when you do get a bad review, don't go in all hostile. Don't get all emotional. Don't rant for a long time. Just keep it simple and brief. Like, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I'm sorry, we don't see you in our database. Here's my personal cell. I'm the owner. Feel free to call me. I'd be glad to make you happy. I'd love to make you a 5-star review if you used our company. You know, just something simple like that. And onlookers can see, you know what? You know, this doesn't have a ring of truth, but the owner has a ring of truth to it. So you see what he's going to do? They're going to use you on a consistent basis. They're going to pick you over somebody else. If you go in there all emotional and you start ranting, forget about it. It's over with, okay? Now, what's come up lately is I've seen cleaners get into arguments on the internet in groups and in forums, and some of them have written bad reviews on the other person's page, their business page, or giving them a bad Google review. Now I want to tell you, I want to put this up front. If you do something like that, you are one of the lowest of the lowest. Because you're not only affecting that person, it's a cowardly act. You're affecting that person's business, all his employees, children, his family, his children. You know, if you got a problem with somebody, call that person. Work it out. Be a man. Okay? You know, remember the internet is one-dimensional and we're three-dimensional creatures. Sometimes people don't mean a certain thing and it comes across wrong. You know? So you really don't know someone until you actually sit down and have a meal with them. Or have a drink with them and talk with them for a while. That's how you really get to know someone. Then you can hear all their voice inflections. Right? You can see their hand gestures, their facial gestures. All those things right there will help you see what is truth and what is not. And it'll give you that ring of truth as I was mentioning before. Now, remember, leaving somebody a fake review because you have a problem with them or you disagree with them on the internet makes you the lowest of the lowest. Or as some people say, a POS. And we all know what that means, right? So you don't want to be that, you know. Somebody calls you that, fine. Okay, you don't let other people define you because you don't engage in that immature, childish behavior. Instead, you take the higher road and let things work themselves out, just like that experience happened to me. You notice how it worked out to my favor? And I'm going to show you how it's going to work out to your favor and the ramifications of what it does to somebody else a little later as we start talking. Now, just real quickly, I feel like a lot of it has to do with the political situation we find ourselves in and our diets. People are on different medicines. You know, our diets are full of soy. Soy creates estrogen. And then men start engaging in arguments and immature, childish behavior online, right? And, you know, generally in the past, men have kind of worked things out. So, you know, they'll either argue or they sometimes get violent. You know, and back in the old days, you know, get into a little fist fight, it's over with. You know, of course. But then when the women usually don't engage in violence, what they'll do is might engage in reputation smearing. And I don't mean to say that. That's no disrespect. It's just that's how it has been the nature throughout history. And isn't it sad now that men have become involved, or so-called men, in reputation smearing? You know? So just notice how that is, you know? All right, let's see. So as I mentioned earlier, I want you to think about, who does it affect? It affects not just the person that you got into the argument with, but it can really bring some serious ramifications upon you and your business. How so? Well, Google has access to your IP address. You go writing people bad reviews because you're mad and you're ranting and you're just going off on the deep end. Well, guess what? Google can track that IP now to a different state, to your business, and it might end up costing you all your reviews. Remember, for every action, there is a reaction. So if you want good, you have to take good actions to get good reactions. It's going to catch up with you sooner or later. Better just either block the person and move on, or realize maybe he was just using humor and give him the benefit of the doubt. Or just let it go. Just let it go. It's that simple. All right, so like I said, Google's getting wise, and I think that's really important. And I think it's important to really call this out for what it is. Okay? It's childish, it's immature, and many times it's based on politics or agendas. A certain person likes a certain piece of equipment. They like this person. They like this clique. They like this group. It's juvenile behavior. Okay? Don't get involved in that juvenile behavior, because all it does is bogs you down and prevents you from becoming as successful as you should be. Why would you deny yourself, your family, your business, your employees, and their families the best you can give them? Getting bogged down in politics and agendas is only going to hurt you, because for every action, there's a reaction. You're spending all that time worried about what somebody else is doing or what they're saying. You're not giving your company or yourself the best. So I think it's really, really important to do that. That's funny. Okay. People are coming here and saying that my haircut makes me look younger. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yep. I went to a person yesterday and she said, I got the perfect haircut for you. I was a little worried. But I'll tell you what, I think she did me right. So no complaint whatsoever. Now, let's entertain a couple of comments on here. Let's see. Brent says here, life's too short to get caught up in that drama. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's drama. Hey, if you need drama, go on the TV and watch drama. Okay? Don't bring it to the internet. All right, it's just childish. Before you know it, our lives are over, and it's not worth smearing other people. So true. Because you can't smear other people without smearing yourself. Remember that. Yep, definitely better to focus on yourself. I wish I could see these comments, but of course, Facebook will only let you see the last few comments. So if anybody else wants to make some more comments, I can only see the last 4. Feel free to bring them up there. But I think I've covered all the points I wanted to. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and chop this, and I'll go ahead and put it on YouTube, because I think it's past due for this. We need to have it. And you know what else too? I'm going to call it out even a little bit further. You notice that a lot of cleaners get upset at cleaners as they start to advance. Now, why is that? You've got somebody like myself who rose from the ashes. Literally, I started a carpet cleaning company from scratch, going door to door, knocking on the door. Lost a job. Was about to lose my house. About to lose everything. Worked out of my car. Worked my way up to where I'm at today. Now, and I'm continuing to grow, and I'm continuing to evolve. And so as I'm evolving, it brings on the haters. So expect that. So what it really boils down to is jealousy. You never see these cleaners call out these big schools that have millions of dollars in the bank. These big companies that have millions of dollars in the bank, who take your money and give $100,000 six-figure jobs to their children to do research. Really? You don't hear that now, do you? There's a lot of politics and stuff that go on behind the scenes, and nobody calls them out. Instead, they'll call out a cleaner. Why is that? Because they're jealous, because they haven't evolved and somebody else is evolving. So if you get caught up with them, they're never going to evolve. You need to evolve. You need to move on further in your business, in your personal life, and what you do. Yeah, I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. I've made mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. But don't let others define you. Don't let them slow you down. Continue to move forward and be the best you can possibly be. You know, I've been hit from all kinds of angles. But it's not a matter of, how hard you get hit. It's can you get back up, right? Let's see, Andy says, I was on the right lane, slow lane, had a car on my left side and the car behind me. A lady came up from the off-ramp, didn't even look where she was going, and ran me off the road. Ouch. Left me a bad review. How can I get off? Nothing to do with my work. Yeah, all I would do is go ahead right away. Go ahead right away, Andy, and report that to Google or to Facebook. And if you can't get it figured out, go to our tmfshop.net live chat, because my son mans that, and he's real good at that. He can help you. Give us some respect. Ricky Lowe, you look a whole lot younger, Rob, with the haircut. Thanks, I appreciate that. I respect you, young man. I'm not a young man, but I appreciate that. Real go-getter. Well done. Thanks, I appreciate that, Ricky. I really do, and I think that's what bugs people. As a matter of fact, here's a funny experience. I had somebody who really hated me on the internet. Through the forums, he followed me through the Facebook pages, through the Facebook groups. He said, oh, I can't stand Rob. He wrote this. Oh, I just can't stand him, Well, then, about a year ago, I'd say a year ago, yeah, close to about a year ago, for about 5 years or so, he followed me doing all those types of things. And then he sends me a private message. And he said, Rob, I want to apologize for the things I said about you and the way I treated you and the way I talked about you. Okay? In reality, Rob, I was just wish that I was the person who did the things you've done. And he said, if I was like you, I'd be a whole lot worse. I wouldn't be sharing. I'd just be putting money away like crazy. And I wouldn't care what other people thought. So I thought that was nice and honest of him to recognize. And, I believe he's doing a whole lot better today. And good for him. Because he got off of that drama. He stopped being bogged down by what's going on around him. There's a big cleaning pie out there. So what if somebody gets a little bigger piece? Ain't nobody probably going to match the piece that Stanley Steamer has, right? Or Zero Res. Are you going to sit back and cry about that too? No. Just become the best person you can be. The best business person you can be. Do the best that you possibly can without worrying about somebody else. Kind of reminds me of, I had 8 brothers and sisters. And we were kids. We get upset because my mom would cut the cake the best she possibly could, and another child would get a bigger piece of the pie or cake. And we say, oh, I don't want that cake. You gave him a bigger piece. Why does he get a bigger piece? She didn't mean to give a bigger piece. Or maybe she did. Maybe he had a better attitude. Maybe he was a better person at that time. Maybe he deserved it. And that's how it is today. Maybe somebody else deserves a bigger piece of the pie because of their attitude, because of their work ethic, because of their passion. So why would you hold that against the person? Instead, why don't you change your attitude, change your work ethic, change your passion? Because then all you're going to do is get yourself a bigger piece of the pie. It's that simple. I believe success is the progressive realization of a goal. Get a goal. Go for it. What's different between rich people and poor people? Rich people they both have homes. One just has a little nicer home. They both have cars. One just has a little better car. Okay? They both have, we might both have businesses. One might have a bigger business. So what? If it's paying your bills and you're happy with it, hey, more power to you. So don't worry about what the pie is. I'm not saying you shouldn't be concerned about what your competition's doing. And I find competition fun. I'll look at my competition as, hey, wow, he's getting a bigger piece of the pie. Wonder how he's doing that. I'll learn from them. It's kind of funny. I'm going to close this with this one last experience. Before I started really getting heavy into my brand, it was kind of funny that I got a group text message from a couple of guys who had to just tell me, I guess. I've never contacted them, but they had my number. They contacted me. You probably know them. They're in the industry, but I'm not going to mention names. Now, I have something good to say about somebody. I just don't say nothing at all. But it's kind of ironic. They sent me a text message bragging about, Ooh, I just sold this much pre-spray. Ooh, what are you going to do now, Rob? You going to go kill yourself? Okay. So, you know, they thought that it was going to really hurt me by telling me how much pre-spray they sold, or how much cleaning chemical they sold, or how many tools they sold. No, guess what it did? I went back to my son. I said, hey, son, guess what? I believe that this guy was lying about how much he really sold, but let's just suppose he sold half of it. We're missing something here. So guess what we did? Rob's secret formula was created. We went to work really hard developing our chemical brand. We already had Tile Master, Grout Master, and Rob's secret formula free and clear. We had those. But now we branched out to almost, what, 75 products on our mixed guide, I believe. If I'm not, somewhere around that range right there. So these 75 products, what happened was this guy was trying to harm me, trying to drive me down so he'd get a bigger piece of the pie, okay? In actuality, what he did was he made his pie smaller and made my pie larger. So for every action, there's a reaction. So if you're trying to harm somebody else, careful, because you're probably just going to end up harming yourself. You know, attitude determines your altitude in life. You should keep a good positive attitude, have a good sense of humor, and you'll go far. Let's see. You become the company you keep. Find a mentor. Very true, Brian. I agree with you 100% there. Gary, attitude, jealousy is shocking with some people in this world. So true. So true. But unfortunately, it is a human trait. It is something we have to put up with, and it's something we have to keep our eyes on. Okay? It's sad, but that's just the way life is. That's what I do. I use others' hurtful comments to make me try harder to get even with them. You know, maybe not get even, but what you can do is get a bigger piece of the pie. You know? Like when I had a big company do a video on me lately, right? You know, on my products and say, ooh, you know, this $1 billion company coming down on this small company. And I suppose we're on their radar, okay? What do? Do I get upset? Do they think they hurt me? No. They made me step it up. They made me do more and get stronger. All right? They're only hurting themselves in the process. So rather than trying to get even, hit them where it counts. Hit them in the wallet. Hit them in the wallet, baby. That's right, hit them. Get that bigger piece of the pie because you deserve it. If you're trying harder, you deserve it. So let's see. I learned to never be a bad dinner conversation. I heard that right. Yes, Oscar. See you in Vegas. Looking forward to that, man. Well, I got a long flight from Virginia, of course, but I'll be flying out Tuesday. I'm staying for a week, and I don't know when I'm coming home. I'm going to travel the country for a little while. Take a little break. I've worked hard. I deserve it. And I'm going to visit some distributors and some cleaners all across the country. And I'm going to visit a lot of sites I've never seen before. So I'm really looking forward to it. If you like, I'll be glad to chronicle it, maybe in live videos and pictures somewhere on the internet and stuff like that. Yes, we do, Jay. We have a very good multi-purpose cleaner. And watch for it coming out very soon. It's coming out very soon. Well, that's about it, guys. I just kind of wanted to point out to you about internet beef and how you should handle it, the ramifications that come from it, the politics, the agendas. Use common sense. Use your reasoning ability. Lay off the drama. Don't be juvenile. Be an adult. Be manly about the way you handle things. If you do these things, you're going to prosper. Yeah, they might get ahead in the short run. Okay, because I've learned people who do things that are wrong, they get ahead in the short run, but they pay hell in the long run. People who do things right, it's very tough in the short run, but it pays great dividends in the long run. And so if you can keep that mindset, I'll guarantee you success will not elude you. Well, everyone, I hope you have a great weekend. The next video you see from me will probably be from Vegas. All right, let's see. A couple more comments here. I'm going to close it out here. Hey, Rob, just want to say your customer service is awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Have a good one. Keep on rocking on. Learn a lot from you guys. Thanks, man. And remember, Brian, iron sharpens iron. So we can all learn from each other because we're all works in progress. So I never look down upon somebody else because they're lacking knowledge. And we're all works in progress. We can all improve. And I learn things from everybody every single day, even new people. You'd be surprised what you can learn. I hired a new guy recently, took him out on the truck, and he came up with a couple cool ideas. And you're like, wow. But he's never cleaned before. He never knew the business. So he had no bad habits, and he had a couple little good angles. I said, you know, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Here he was green. So we can all learn from each other. Yes, you can use Unchained on tile. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everyone. Well, thanks a lot. Have a great day. I'm going to go ahead and share this video in other places. And remember, internet beef. If you want some beef, go eat some. All right? Don't start some. Have a great day, everyone.